What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Thursday Live. I'm pulling up my last thing here that I'm gonna need for today. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk about bonus structures, okay, and how you can actually be leveraging bonus structures, financial bonus structures, or even potentially time off structures. Anything that would be considered a bonus benefit or a bonus monetary benefit to the position. We're going to talk about how you can leverage that today in a way to attract or retain top talent. All right, and specifically where we really want to go with using bonus structures is we want to be able to use them in addition to, not necessarily in lieu of. We want to use them in addition to, not necessarily in lieu of, pay bumps. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how you can use them and also make some differentiations from commission structures and how commission structures are a little bit different. So we're gonna dive in deep today, but as always, I'm gonna try to keep this thing concise, to the point, so you guys walk away with some value and things you can implement right away. Maybe in we'll overview all the different situations. For those of you who don't know, my name is Charlie. Real quick, Kids Program Solutions. If you're here for the first time, welcome in. We help kids program owners scale. And specifically, we help them solve their staff problems. So if that's you, if you find that you're having issues with the staff department, you find that that's the thing that's really holding you back from growing, you're in the right place. We can help you. All right, Ali and I have grown programs from 6K to 50K in 6 months. We've done that for over a dozen clients. We've also helped these programs scale up dramatically in terms of how many students they have while not overwhelming them with coaches. For example, some of our programs have 400 students with only 5 coaches. All right, without further ado, that's enough about me. Let's talk about how we can help you. All right, so these videos are made with the intent of providing you guys value and maybe you like them enough to where you want to actually sit down and have a discussion about how specifically we can be helping you in your program. So these are our bridge builders to build a relationship between us and you. So enjoy. All right, let's get into it. Okay, bonuses. I do have a couple of questions that came in this week about bonuses. I'm going to answer those at the end of the call, okay, in case any other comments come in during or the end of the stream. So I'll answer those towards the end in case any others come in. Let's get into bonuses. So specifically, for those of you who don't know, one of the areas you're going to really want to keep your numbers on lock is going to be as it pertains to your pay, right? Your payroll. So I always recommend to our clients, and when I'm coaching people on their programs, 30% payroll. Okay, so if you make $10,000 a month, roughly, right, $3,000 of that goes to payroll. Now, bonuses can be considered a part of this 30%, okay? But they can also be a part of their own percentage in terms of if we're looking at the overall budget of your program, how much money is going into incentivizing people to be a part of your team, to stay on your team, those type of things. Bonuses can very well take you above and beyond the 30%. The reason being is because I don't want you to think about a bonus as, oh, this should fit into payroll, unless you structure a bonus system into your payroll. I want you to think about bonuses as an additional card to play and negotiations. Okay, so for example, one of the things we'll talk about here is a performance bonus. We'll just get started with the performance bonus. So let's say somebody comes into your program, they're doing really well. You know, we try to put out like a time span of 2.5 years before someone will max out the pay rate for a position. Okay, so they get past the 2.5 year mark. They have been an overperformer the whole time, constantly getting good marks in all the review periods. Every time a pay bump is on the deck, they get it. So what do we do now? Okay, we can't just keep increasing people's hourly pay because eventually they'll outpace the position, meaning they'll be paid way too much, right? And you'll be like forced to either fire them, not promote them. So it's just kind of a really sticky situation, right? So how do we avoid this sticky situation? Once someone has maxed out the pay rate for a particular position, okay? So let's say you've got a coach position, the max pay rate for that position is $25 an hour, okay? They've done a great job, they've reached that, you want to keep incentivizing them. A performance bonus is a great opportunity to give them a reward financially without permanently bumping the pay. And so essentially, like what it can work out to is you say, hey, $500, $1,000 bonus goes to them when they get marks that would normally equate to a pay bump. Instead of a pay bump, you do a bonus in place. That way, they still get a financial return. You don't permanently churn up how much you're paying per hour for them, which can really hurt you in the long run. So it's a really win-win. Now, it's not as much as they would make, but as long as you have your systems outlined in terms of, hey, this coach position goes from 20 to 25, right? It maxes out at 25. They will know, okay, I'm at 25. I've maxed out the pay rate. I need to promote to get more hourly, but I can still get performance bonuses if I'm getting 5s on my quarterly marks, okay? So that's the first situation you can use it. Now I have percentiles here to talk about. This is a percentile-based bonus, or I like to call them set-in-stone bonuses. So set-in-stone bonuses are basically just fixed amounts that you create. But I recommend you say it's set in stone so that it doesn't seem like it's a negotiation for a bonus. It's you coming in saying, hey, this is the standard bonus amount that we do for performance bonuses. It's $1,000. Okay, and I do recommend doing that. That way you don't hear about some staff. Your staff are going to talk about pay with one another. Okay, it's a little bit delusional to think that they won't. So you need to anticipate that. So you'll set your performance bonus in your policy in the way that you do things so that your staff can all see, oh, hey, this is what you get paid for a performance bonus. And again, this is like they're doing their marks, they're getting quarterly marks, they're doing a great job. That semi-annual pay raise point comes up and you say, hey, okay, instead of this, you've maxed out this pay, you've done a great job here. Here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to do performance bonuses until you promote to the next position. And that could be a year, 2 years, 3 years, and make the performance bonus meaningful, but it doesn't have to break the bank on you. If it's $1,000, $2,000, that's still going to go a really long way in your coach's mind, okay? And if they're like I said, if you have a coach at that point in the process, they are worth every dollar, if not more than that, okay? You can do it as a percentile. So, for example, you could say performance bonuses are built around the retention of the coach, okay? So based off of how many kids are leaving their particular class roster, you can bonus them off of that. Or you just say, hey, performance bonus, it's this. And that might be the simpler way to go. But this is a spot where you could do that, okay? Hit pay ceiling. Again, once they hit the pay ceiling, this is where you can give them a bonus for hitting the pay ceiling. This is a real win situation for them. Of not only do they max out the pay, they get a $500 bonus to kind of just usher them into this new pay period and get them really excited about the idea of continuing to grow with you. Because you don't want someone to hit the max hourly and then start looking elsewhere. That's like right when you've got that person to be a maximum return for your coaching business. That's when you want to have a set in stone bonus of here's going to be a bonus for this particular thing, okay? So to reiterate here, hit pay ceiling, this can be used in terms of they hit the pay ceiling, start bonusing them. Performance bonus can be similar to a pay ceiling bonus, but this can actually be tied to a particular aspect of their position, a particular aspect of their job. So on the scorecard, it could be retention. On the scorecard, it could be referrals. Anything like that you feel is going to be a direct driver of the bottom line revenue, you can put an additional bonus in place for that, okay? So those are those two. All right, signing bonus. Signing bonus is going to be really, really good for if you have a candidate who's exceptional. Maybe they're in a different opportunity, maybe they're across the country, maybe they're further away, whatever. If they have to move, whatever kind of changes that they're going to have to go through in life, all right? A signing bonus is a great opportunity to bring them in with a burst of income. So like if I have to move to become a coach for your position, and ideally you wouldn't do this for like a flex coach, a part-time, that kind of thing. You're going to do this for more like maybe a really serious anchor coach, a really good head coach, or even a program director. Okay, so those more substantial pieces in your program, a signing bonus is going to be the way to go. All right, and it could be like $5K, and it's more so geared towards helping them with moving expenses to move into the area. And I really, really, really like, if I can afford to move a candidate in, they are going to be completely and 100% focused on your business, because if they move for that opportunity, this used to happen to me in the military all the time. you're constantly getting moved around to different areas, and so the military is really all that you have. And so it's the same thing. And I've moved for the kids program, and me and my wife were 100% focused on the program we went to. Now that puts a lot of pressure on that program to provide a lot of running room for those kind of that motivated candidate. But like, get out of those people's way, let them do their job, let them make you a lot of money, and do a great job of providing you an excellent product. Okay, because they will do that. They want to do that. So signing bonus is excellent opportunity to pull great talent from far away, get them into your program, get their feet running, and then you're good to go. So this is an awesome way to shop talent, maybe 2 states away, 3 states away, 5 states away, whatever. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, well, it's just hourly. The signing bonus changes the game on that. And again, this may take you outside your 30% payroll range, but if you know that this coach is a great investment opportunity for you, in that you're going to be able to add 5, 10, 20K a month in revenue, send the money, right? Because that's going to equate out to $250,000, $500,000 a year for your business. You should definitely drop the 5, 10K just to get that coach moved to the location. And like I said, if they're solely focused on your program, they are going to stay for a long time, provided you don't explode the opportunity. Okay, promotional bonus. 2 things. So promotional bonuses you can use in a sense of, I have a coach who might be a great anchor coach, and I'm like, man, this person's going to be a great leader. I really want to get them into my program director spot, really want to get them into my head coach spot. Promotional bonus is an awesome way to maybe get them over the fear of taking on new responsibilities or new roles in the business. People can sometimes be really comfortable, and we as human beings naturally fear change, okay? So sometimes it needs that extra incentive for us to leap into that next spot of taking on the additional responsibility. Maybe I think I would do good at it, but I am a little fearful. I don't necessarily, and this is big too, if let's say I go from an hourly to then I move to like a portion of hourly or salary plus commissions, right? And so maybe the commission aspect of the job scares me because I'm like, I don't know if I can make what I need to make off of commissions to really get the pay bump out of this position. So a promotional bonus can help people kind of be like, look, we're going to provide this to you to help you get into the swing of things, to settle into the position and really start executing. And this is, I'm thinking more like a program director, because I like program directors to get paid commission off of performance things. So how well is the revenue doing? How well is attrition doing? Those type of things. And it can scare a coach if they don't feel like they're prepared for that, and if they feel like they're not going to be able to tap into the financial aspects of it, and maybe they're making more as a coach or something to that effect, right? Promotional bonuses kind of help ease the transition, as well as incentivize them to take on the additional responsibility. Okay, seasonal bonus. All right, so seasonal bonuses are like, you have a camp, you have mainly a camp, right? So like summer camp, spring break camp, those type of things. So seasonal bonuses, I put percentage there because I do think that these should be attached to whatever the seasonal component is, right? So if you're running a summer camp, a seasonal bonus in your summer camp can be a great motivator to get your coaches to really step up to the plate, really take on those additional responsibilities, and really be excited about the opportunity to get more work, okay? And so you attach it to the revenue, like when you think about it financially, okay, you want to attach it to the revenue that you think you're going to get, right? So for example, if I'm going to pull in an additional, say $50,000 from my summer camp, okay, now maybe I allocate 10% of that to bonuses. I mean, ultimately you'll look at it from a 30% perspective of payroll of all revenue, right? So 30% of that is going to come in and take care of the coaches. And so you can structure that in such a way where it's the bonuses that they're going to get for taking on these additional responsibilities. So maybe you say, hey, you coach 4 summer camp weeks in a row, we'll throw you an additional $1,000 bonus for this work period, right? And that's a great way to help kind of motivate the coaches through this busy season when you have to lean on them a little harder to provide for not only the camps, but the classes. So if they see the return and that season's there for them, it's a great way to get people on your team motivated to take on those additional responsibilities and be excited about the opportunity, because now it's going to be like, oh man, not only do I have the additional hourly income, I can also stack up these days that I need to work or the days that they've asked me to work and get access to seasonal bonuses. Okay. Now, one thing I note up here at the top here is they're different from commissions. Why do I say that? So the reason they're different from commissions is because your bonuses are a card to be played in terms of negotiation. Your commissions are set pay structures that you should be building into particular roles. So take, for example, let's say you have this is our program director, okay? I want to commission them on attrition, right? So let's say that, or actually let's do revenue. That'll make things a little simpler, right? So let's say I want to commission them off of revenue. So if I say, hey, I'm going to do a 3% bonus on revenue production for this month, and it has to meet a minimum threshold. So we'll say, to keep things simple, 30K, all right? So within this role, right, so that would be a $900 commission that they got from here, all right? So they get a 3% commission from the revenue production of the facility. But then I want to say, okay, hey, here's a flat bonus of if you hit 5s on culture, for example. Like if I'm evaluating them on culture and I want to say, hey, all of your people need to have an average of a 4 or a 5 in the culture rating. That's where I'm going to provide a bonus, and maybe it's a really difficult number to quantify, so I just want to get them really amped about it. I say, hey, we'll give you a $3,000 bonus if you can hit 2 or if you can hit a 4 or a 5 in culture in your scorecard. So the reason these are different is because this number can change, okay? Like, hey, right now the culture bonus is 3,000. Next month it's going to be 2,000, right? Based off of where you feel the priority should be. Versus this is going to be something that's built into their job description and something that they're always aiming at. So this is something you want them to calculate, like, hey, I'll make $100,000 a year if I'm hitting my commissions and if I'm hitting my, or just my marks really, right? My commissions, my hourly or salary, however you want to structure that, that's going to equate to my revenue, my income, not your revenue, your income, their income. Bonus systems can be used to increase or decrease the emphasis on a particular aspect of the program, and they can change based off of where you feel that extra need is. Okay, so the bonus, again, it's a negotiation card to be played if you want to get someone more excited about a particular thing or more focused on a particular thing or help move through a particular season, versus these are systems that should be in place and remain in place for the position. All right, I hope that makes sense. If not, just comment in the comments below and I can further elaborate. Okay, so let's talk about one of the questions I received, which is how do the tax systems work for commissions or bonuses? Sorry. Okay, so I did a little bit of research on this week. This is how I thought it worked. This is how I remember it working. But as always, guys, I'm not an accountant, so definitely consult an accountant on the particular laws in your state. But the way your commission system is, your bonus system, I apologize, I keep saying that, is going to be viewed is like this. Okay, so there's 2 ways for it to be viewed. The first way is as additional income. So if you pay your person 40K in a year, and they get a 10K bonus at the end of the year for hitting their goals, right? So let's say altogether, this can be seen as 50K income, all right? So that's how it would be reported to the IRS. That's how you would report how much money you gave this person. Is I gave them a total of $50,000, and it would be taxed just as if you had given them $50,000 in and of itself, okay? So this is one way for it to be lumped together, all right? Now, where the downside to this is if I get 40K normally and then I get a massive bonus, right? Let's say my bonus is 90K, right? Then what this could potentially do is up your tax bracket. So you go from 40K in taxes owed to now suddenly you rock it up to now you owe substantially more because now you're making 130K a year as your actual income. And that is terrifying for some people because if they're used to making 40K and they just got bonus a ton of money, it bumps them into a new tax bracket and now it's like, hey, you owe us all this money. Another way you can do it, and this is probably the preferred way, is just separate out the bonus. And then the bonus can be taxed at, according to the IRS's website, 22%. Okay. And therefore, the bonus itself will be taxed at 22%. And then their regular income is taxed as it normally would be. So this might be a preferred option for people who are not familiar with the tax system, and they don't want to like deal with all the chaos. It's basically like, hey, we're going to give you a $10,000 bonus. We're going to report that. Just so you know, you're going to owe 22%. So let's set aside $2,200 for taxes. So really the bonus is, 88, what is that, 7,800? So that's really how that's going to break down to. So you can either include it all together or report it as one whole income. And so, because the IRS could see it as potentially just a commission structure, really, because they're really similar in that regard. So you bonus them and it says, hey, this is just one income. Or you can then split it out to the side and say, hey, here's their normal income. Here's the bonus that we paid. And then they get taxed separately. The bonus gets one type of tax structure to it. And then their normal pay system it's taxed accordingly. Okay. But of course, as always, guys, definitely check this stuff out with your accountant. This is just a way to think about it in the abstract form of, maybe planning. But if you want to get into the particulars, I highly, highly recommend always consult a tax professional in your state. Just buy an hour with them or whatever to get their insight as to how this should work or particulars on exactly how to implement this type of system. Okay. So I know today's live went long, but this is, kind of a complex system. So I wanted to take the time to answer those questions and really flesh out some of the things that I wanted you guys to think about in terms of bonuses. All right. So for those of you who are watching this later, thank you for taking the time to watch this. Remember to like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel. That's a big help. That goes a long way in terms of finding other people just like yourself and helping them with the same content. And as usual, if you guys find value in this, one of the big things you could do that would help us is send it to someone else that you think would also find value in the videos that we're making. Maybe other kids programs that could really use some of the insights that we're sharing here. Also, good news is we are recreating some aspects of our Staff Scaling Secrets program. We are excited to launch that, and look out for the announcement later this week or beginning of next week for what that's going to look like exactly. Okay, so I hope you guys have a great, awesome weekend, and be looking out. If you're not already a member of our inner circle, gets access to that stuff all the time. They get it before you guys, and they get one-on-one calls with us. But be on the lookout for some of the cool stuff that we're working on getting out there for you guys to help you with your staff scaling staff scaling solutions, and help you guys ultimately grow your kids program, have more profit, more freedom, and ultimately more positive impact in your communities. All right. I'll see you guys next time. God bless. And we'll catch you next Thursday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time.